It's actually a pretty unique story, I think, in terms of how I chose my career. A lot of people know from the time they're born, because they were born into a family of lawyers, that that's what they're going to be when they grow up. Although my grandmother, God rest her soul, will tell you that when I was 10 or 11, she asked what I was going to be when I grew up and expected firefighter or the like. She'll say I very quickly responded with lawyer. I can honestly say I have no recollection of that or ever thinking that that's what I was going to do with my life. Got out of college, well, was ready to get out of college. I didn't take any exams. I didn't take the LSAT. I had absolutely no vision of ever opening a book again until I was living in the outskirts of Chicago, and I credit Oliver Stone and with the JFK movie. Absolutely inspired me to change my life. I watched the movie and said, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a lawyer. And it came as quite a shock to my then fiance that our life had that in the future, but she was very understanding. Lovely wife now of almost 25 years. So she stuck with me through that change of course and through law school. My wife is from the Alexandria area, and Virginia is where, Northern Virginia in particular, DC is where I always wanted to be. I grew up in a small town in New Hampshire, but I considered DC to be the center of the legal universe. So I'd always seen myself at least moving here, maybe working on the Hill or the like, but it was a natural choice for us to relocate here. Not too far away, about a half hour from where she grew up in the Mount Vernon area. We ended up going to George Mason Law School, and even that has its own little anecdote. I met a federal judge in Chicago at the time I was thinking about going to school. I met him at a cocktail hour. He said, "Oh, you're thinking about law school. Have you ever considered going to George Mason? It's a small school in Northern Virginia. My good friend's the dean there. I'd be happy to put in a good word for you." So needless to say, I took him up on the offer and put him on the Christmas card list for many years, and I continue to thank him for helping me get into my current profession as a lawyer. When I walked out of the JFK movie, first I couldn't believe I had been spellbound for as long as it was. It's a pretty lengthy movie, in excess, I believe, as I recall, of more than 3 hours. And the idea of what the prosecutor had to go through to overcome evidentiary hurdles, to overcome this notion of his theory not being well recognized, not being accepted, and to really have to push to achieve what he wanted and believed, for justice to be done. I felt that I was meant, one, to be a litigator. It was clear that the ability to sort of stand on my own 2 feet, to think off the top, extemporaneously off the top of my head to get done what needed to be done. And sure enough, although my career path didn't go quite that way, I never did get a position in a prosecutor's office like that. Very clear to me very early on that litigation was what I wanted to do for that exact reason. There's nothing stale, there's nothing the same I find about any two cases. It's all different, but it's still it's acting to a great extent. It's stage. All the world's a stage. The Bard once said, and it couldn't be any more true in litigation. Have to live by the seat of your pants and sort of take things as they come. That's been the greatest exhilarating part of my job. I have colleagues who draft wills or work for the government in a FOIA office responding to requests for information. God love them, but I would go absolutely insane. For me, it's in the courtroom and helping people and clients do something that most of them really can't do themselves.